A lot of the advice people follow about showing your dog love actually pushes dogs away. It sounds comforting on the surface, but it often ignores how dogs naturally understand connection. And when we treat them like small, furry humans, we create emotional gaps we never intended. That's why so many dogs live with hidden frustration, while their owners feel confused. In this video, I'll help you see the difference between human affection and the signals dogs truly depend on. If you'd like to keep unraveling these myths with me, feel free to like and subscribe so we can keep learning together. Number 1. Hugging and misreading canine body language. Have you ever noticed how a dog's body stiffens the moment someone wraps their arms around him? It's a small shift, almost invisible unless you're paying attention. But to a dog, it's the moment affection starts to feel like pressure. You mean well, yet your arms close around a creature who survives by keeping escape routes open. And suddenly, the gesture you see as love becomes something they interpret as control. That's why their eyes widen, their ears pull back, or their mouth tightens for just a second, as if they're trying to politely endure what their instincts don't understand. And when you start to see those signals, you realize they aren't rejecting you. They're just asking for a kind of closeness that feels safer to them. A soft scratch under the chin or the gentle weight of your hand lets them lean in instead of brace themselves. And that small shift changes the entire emotional tone between you. Number 2. Ignoring the dog while physically present. And once you notice that pattern, you start seeing another one. It's unsettling how easy it is to sit in the same room as your dog and still make him feel completely alone. You think your presence is enough, but to a creature who reads connection through eye contact, tone, and tiny shared moments, silence can feel like distance. And when you sink into your phone or drift through your evening without looking up, he quietly wonders what he did wrong. Because dogs don't separate your distraction from their worth. It's why even a few minutes of focused attention each day can soften their whole posture, as if your awareness lifts a weight they didn't know how to carry. And the more you offer those small, sincere moments, the more your dog understands that he still matters in a world that moves faster than he does. Number 3. Only giving affection on the owner's terms. A lot of people believe affection should happen when it's convenient for them, but dogs don't experience love on a schedule. When your dog approaches you with that soft look or gentle nudge, he's taking a risk, offering a small, vulnerable invitation that means more than most owners realize. And when that moment is brushed aside because you're busy, tired, or simply not in the mood, he doesn't understand the timing. He only feels the pause where warmth was supposed to be. Over time, those tiny rejections shape the way he approaches you, making his bids for closeness quieter, shorter, or hesitant, as if he's not sure his feelings will land. But when you meet him halfway, when you respond to those little requests with your presence, his whole body relaxes because he learns your love isn't conditional on your mood. And honoring his need for connection, while also respecting the moments he chooses space, creates a relationship that feels balanced instead of one-sided. Number 4. Inconsistency in rules and signals. On its own, that seems simple, but inconsistency is where things quietly start to unravel. The uncomfortable truth is that dogs don't just listen to your words. They track your patterns, your tone, and the emotional weather inside your home. When the rules shift depending on your stress level or the time of day, your dog doesn't see flexibility. He feels the ground move beneath him, and in that uncertainty, he starts second-guessing every choice, watching you a little too closely, waiting for signs that he's safe or that he's about to be corrected. You can almost see it in the way his tail lowers or his pace slows, as if he's trying to decode a language that keeps changing. And when your signals finally become steady and predictable, something softens in him, because clarity feels like love to a creature who depends on your consistency to feel secure. Number 5. Scolding in public or high-stimulation environments. You've probably seen it happen. A dog pulling too hard, barking too much, and an owner snapping in the middle of a busy street. In all that noise and movement, your dog isn't being defiant. He's overwhelmed. And your raised voice only adds another layer to the chaos he's already trying to survive. Instead of understanding the correction, he feels the sharp sting of your frustration without knowing where it came from or how to make it stop. And in that moment, his confidence shrinks, not because he thinks you're angry, but because he suddenly feels small in a world that already feels too loud. You can almost sense his confusion afterward, the way he walks a little closer, not out of obedience, but out of uncertainty, hoping to regain footing in your emotional landscape. And when you simply remove him from the overstimulating space, guiding him with calm instead of force, he realizes you're someone he can look to for safety, rather than someone he needs to brace himself against. Number 6, not giving enough praise. And honestly, that's the manageable version of the problem, because the quieter damage often comes from the moments when your dog does everything right and hears nothing. It's uncomfortable to admit, but most people spend more energy correcting mistakes than acknowledging the gentle, patient, good choices their dog makes all day long. Your dog notices that silence, and over time it creates a quiet question in him about whether his efforts even matter to you. He may sit calmly, wait politely, or choose restraint in moments that tempt him, and when those moments pass without a single warm word, his sense of success slowly fades. You can feel the difference when you start praising the small things. His posture loosens, his eyes brighten, as if he finally understands the path you want him to follow. And it's in those tiny, sincere affirmations that your dog builds the confidence to keep trying. Not out of fear of being corrected, but out of the comfort of knowing he's seen. Number 7. Using the crate as punishment. There's a quiet kind of relief that happens when a dog learns his crate is a place where nothing bad will follow him. But that feeling disappears the moment the crate becomes tied to your frustration, because dogs don't separate the space from the emotion you send them into it with. When he's shut away after a mistake, he isn't thinking about what he did. He's sitting in confusion, wondering why the one place that used to feel safe suddenly feels heavy. And over time, that shift settles into his body hesitation at the door, slower steps, a look that almost asks whether he's being sent away from you or simply being put to rest. You can sense the difference when the crate stays a refuge instead of a consequence, when it holds soft blankets, calm praise, and the feeling of being protected rather than dismissed. And with that gentle reinforcement, your dog rediscovers the crate as a sanctuary he chooses, not a room he's exiled to. Number 8. Discouraging natural behaviors like licking. This keeps showing up in different forms. And here's another one that's easy to overlook. Have you ever wondered what your dog thinks is happening when you pull away from his gentle lick? To him, that small gesture isn't about cleanliness or habit. It's a quiet way of saying he feels safe with you, a way of soothing himself and strengthening the bond he believes you share. And when you recoil, even softly, he doesn't connect it to hygiene. He only feels the sudden shift in your energy, the tiny moment where his affection doesn't land. Over time, he may hesitate, offering fewer of those soft gestures, almost as if he's checking whether his love is welcome in your space. And when you guide him calmly, instead of rejecting him, offering your hand, redirecting him with warmth, you let him keep that instinctive tenderness without letting it overwhelm you, and he walks away understanding that your bond is still intact. Number 9. Not taking walks due to having a backyard. On its own, that seems like such a small misunderstanding, but it quietly connects to the way many dogs lose something essential when walks disappear. You might look at your backyard and see freedom, space, and a perfectly good substitute for going out, but your dog doesn't experience it that way. To him, the world isn't just a place to stretch his legs. It's a living map of scents, sounds, and stories that help him feel grounded and mentally alive. And when those daily explorations fade away, he carries the boredom in his body, pacing more, reacting faster, or sinking into a kind of stillness that looks like calm, but feels like resignation. You can see the shift the moment you bring Walks back, the way his nose lowers to the ground with purpose, his tail lifts with curiosity, as if he's finally part of the world again, instead of watching it from behind a fence. And in those shared steps, where you follow his lead and let him decode the environment at his own pace, the two of you rebuild a connection that no backyard can ever replace. Number 10. Leaving dogs alone for excessive periods. At first, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but long stretches of silence slowly carve out a kind of loneliness your dog doesn't know how to name. He waits by the door, not understanding schedules or obligations, only feeling the hours stack into a weight he carries in his chest. And when the house stays still for too long, he begins to shut down inside, not out of anger, but because he believes this is simply the shape of his world now. You can see it in the way he greets you, overjoyed on the surface, but underneath there's a softness that looks a little like relief and a little like exhaustion. Even a brief midday visit, a neighbor's check-in, or a gentle break in the silence can ease that pressure and remind him he hasn't been forgotten. And when those moments of connection become part of his routine, your dog moves through his day with a steadier heart, knowing he's still held in your life, even when you're not there. It's a quiet thing, realizing how many moments your dog has been trying to love you in the only ways he knows how. And even if you've missed some of those signals before now, it doesn't mean you failed him. It just means you're learning each other a little more clearly. What matters most is understanding that the smallest shift in your awareness can change the way he feels in your presence. And as you move through your days, you might notice yourself pausing more often, softening your tone, or letting him lean into you just a little longer. Because once you start tuning into his emotional world, a new question naturally opens up about why he chooses certain people to trust the most. There's something quietly beautiful and unexpected about what makes a dog pick his favorite person, and it's rarely what we assume. So if you want to keep exploring that deeper side of your bond, the next video is waiting for you.